Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. Well, I'm back to talk about the situation at LSU with Angel Reese. And I just want to add a few things because I believe that this is a teachable moment for young Black Americans. Now, we have a situation with a young woman, Angel Reese, who got upset because President Joe Biden didn't include LSU in the basketball brackets that they do for who's going to win the national championship. And they do the whole bracket thing. For those who don't know what this whole bracket business is about, I'm going to do my best to explain it. They have a list of all of the teams that play college basketball, and they put the teams that play each other in brackets, and they predict which one is going to win. They do that for all of the teams until they get to the Final Four. Then they predict which 4 teams will make it to the Final Four. And then they predict what 2 teams will end up in the national championship. They do that just for fun. It's really not a big thing, and it's not perfect science. It's just something that presidents do. So that's what that bracket business is all about. It's just something that they do in the president's office to boost men's basketball, women's basketball, football, whatever the sport is. President Obama did it all the time, especially with men's basketball, and he was almost always wrong. And it just turned out to be like a standing joke. President Obama's going to be wrong. And I don't think that anybody got mad at President Obama because he didn't include them in his bracket of who they thought was going to win. And that didn't stop anybody from coming to the White House once they won. And Joe Biden is doing the same thing. So they're not going to get it right all the time. These people are heads of state. They have other stuff to do. They don't have time to watch everybody's basketball game. They're just doing something. And they were upset because Joe Biden didn't pick them for the Final Four or for the championship game. I'm not even sure which one they were upset about. But it wasn't even Jill Biden. It was Joe Biden that didn't pick them. But these presidents rarely get it right. They're just guessing. They're just doing something for fun. Because really, you don't know who's going to win at the end of the day. You can make a prediction, but another team will come up out of nowhere and win the whole thing. And that happens more often than you would expect. You know, that's the chance you take when you're playing a sport. And if you're so thin-skinned that you can't stand for somebody to say that you weren't going to win, and then you turn around and win, and you're mad because they said you weren't going to win, that might not be the right occupation for you. Now, she can pout and carry this as far as she wants to because she's the face of this now. Those other girls aren't saying anything. She's the face of this now. Angel Reese is the face of this now. I think she's carrying this too far. I didn't really get it when they didn't want to get a pep talk from the First Lady of the United States. I really didn't get that. And maybe I'm just a generation too far back. But I didn't get that because all she wanted to do was come in and be seen and smile and say, you know, go out there and play a good game and all of that. It wasn't that much. She wasn't going to do any damage to them. So I don't see the point of not letting her come in and do her little thing as First Lady. And then when they added the other layer that, Joe Biden didn't even think they were going to make it to the Final Four or the championship or whatever it was, then it started looking kind of petty to me. I'm being honest about how I saw it. It started to look kind of petty to me because these presidents don't get that right. After the game, when they were trash talking, especially Angel Reese, she seems to be the standout. She's doing the trash talking, and everybody criticized her, and she stood up for herself. I'm with you when you're right. That was okay with me. But now it has reached the point where I think that somebody needs to rein her in. I believe this is a time that she needs to be reeled in because she's going into territory that she's not familiar with. And she's too young to be able to predict what the future could be for her doing things like this. Because at the end of the day, that's LSU. That's not her team. Now, they were invited to the White House. And Angel Reese is going to say, we're not going, or I'm not going. But her coach, has accepted the invitation, which means the coach is going. So if the coach goes, some of those girls are going with her. And at the end of the day, it's LSU. It's not Angel Reese. She could choose not to go. But if the team goes and she doesn't go, she's still going to be the standout. She's not going to look like a hero. Other than that, she's showing that she's holding a grudge against the President of the United States and the First Lady because they didn't think they could win. That's all the more reason to go and celebrate. Yeah, you thought we couldn't win, but look where we are at the White House as the champions. That is the approach that I believe somebody should advise her to take. It's a little late now because she has said she's not going. So if she goes, it wouldn't look right. If she doesn't go, that's not a slap in the face at Jill Biden and Joe Biden because they really don't care at the end of the day. That's a reflection on Louisiana State University, LSU. That's who's being represented there, not her. Now, black people need to stop, in my opinion, black people need to stop egging this girl on. Because where does she want to go after college basketball? She's 6 feet 3 inches tall. She has opportunities that the women who began the WNBA would never have thought about. She will have endorsement deals because she's a very pretty girl. So she could get endorsement deals, sponsorships. She could become a reporter or a commentator on ESPN or some other network. Or she could become a high fashion model. She has endless possibilities as a young African American woman in the United States right now. But nobody's going to touch her if she's going around pissing everybody off and holding a grudge over something that is not really that important. And she is not an equal with the President or the First Lady of the United States. And black people can keep gassing her up if they want to. And she's going to end up like Kanye West, except she won't get as far as Kanye West got. Now, Kanye West, running his mouth, has talked himself out of about $2 billion. He never had the money in hand to start with, but he had the potential for making that money. But because he wouldn't quit running his mouth, saying everything that came to mind, making people mad who had more power to make something happen or not happen for him than he did, he ended up losing. And now, it's the more people don't talk about him, the more people don't talk about him. At one point, everything he did was reported in the news. I couldn't turn on any kind of social media platform without seeing something about Kanye West or Kim Kardashian or Kanye West and Donald Trump or Kanye West and Jay-Z and what Kanye West said about Beyonce. Now, you barely hear anything. And even if he said it, nobody cares because he's been knocked off his platform. And this young woman will be knocked off before she gets started. And it is not being a suck up or a sellout. She's not a sellout because there's nothing to sell right now. All she has right now is potential. I am an elder in the Black American community, so I don't expect young people to agree with me, but you need to pay attention because we don't own anything. We don't own enough in the United States of America to be out here trying to buck with the President and the First Lady of the United States of America. It doesn't matter if they're Democrats or Republicans. It just doesn't matter. And it's not just about Joe and Jill Biden. It's about the system we're in. These people get on code. And they can make or break you in the matter of minutes. Somebody said in less than a week, they pulled the rug out from under Kanye West and he had lost $2 billion. That's how quickly you can be brought down. And this young woman, Angel Reese, can be brought down as simply as LSU pulling that scholarship because she's out here running her mouth. Because the fact that the First Lady wanted to give them a pep talk and they declined, that should have been kept within that locker room. That was not for public exposure because it looked like she's trying to embarrass the First Lady. And this is not really about black and white right now. This is about protocol, having manners, and knowing your place. That's what this is about. The coach is the spokesperson for that team. Now, they'll let people come out and give interviews about the game, but that's all. You don't need to be trying to be speaking for the moral character of that team. That's LSU. The coach does that. And it's just really, it's just basic. That team is mostly black girls. And most of them are not having so much to say. And I'd be willing to bet that the reason they're not running their mouth is because their parents have told them to keep their mouth shut. Because they know it's not just about them being on that team this year, it's about their future. People who are raising young people and mentoring and advising young black people should use this as a teachable moment. This is a system that we live in, that the people work together. Now, she wants to go back home and coach basketball at her high school, she'll be fine. Or drive Uber. But if she wants to make it in the sport that she's in, she's going to have to tone it down. Now, they brought Michelle Obama into the mix, saying they would like to go to her house. I believe that this would be something that Michelle Obama would want to do, that she would want to support them, because I believe she understands, as most of us understand, but this is not something that Michelle Obama can get into. What I would expect that Michelle Obama would do would be to advise her that she's taken the wrong approach. Now, that's what I think she would do. But at the end of the day, Angel Reese threatening not to go to the White House to celebrate her victory doesn't really mean anything. That's not going to stop the coach from going. That's not going to stop the team from going. And it's not going to stop LSU from being represented. I would be surprised if the administration at LSU would condone that basketball team not going to the White House. This is the first time in the history of LSU women's basketball that they have won a national championship. There is no reason why they shouldn't go. Just because somebody didn't think you would win and you won, that's another reason to go. And those people are not going to not take advantage of that. They're champions. They're going to put that in some kind of showcase at LSU. And if she doesn't go, she just won't be in the picture, and she just won't be represented. But somebody's going. Those black girls are going because they have family members. Their mamas and grandmamas are telling them, you can't afford to go around here making people like that mad, because they can make a difference in your life. That kind of thing can be very far-reaching. This is a teachable moment for young black Americans. Do not take that path of, I'm mad because you didn't do this, or you didn't believe in me, so I don't want you to talk to me, and I don't want to come to the White House. She's taken the wrong approach. This is a teachable moment for black Americans, and they should not miss it. Somebody's going, and they're going to enjoy the punch and cookies or whatever they serve them, and they're going to enjoy the tour of the White House. And they're going to get blue ribbon treatment like champions. And they're going to come into that picture smiling. With or without Angel Reese. You cannot have an attitude when you're not in a position to run anything. And you don't own anything. And you got to go to somebody else to get a job. And this is not about race. Because if she was at a black school or had a black coach, they would have already shut her down. They would have already stopped her from talking, because if nothing else, they could pull that scholarship, or they could just bench her. They could bench her and not let her play. And they would. They would do that. LSU won a championship. That is a big deal with white people, and they are not going to miss anything that goes along with that championship. Also, this coach is a winner. She can recruit from any top-notch college in the country, or she can get any incoming freshman that she wants. There are young women who are eager to get there and work with her because she is a good coach. But look at this coach, look at Jill Biden, and look at the coach of Iowa. I don't even have to say anything. They get on code. They are not going to stand for somebody on their team embarrassing the First Lady of the United States. Now you can take it or you can leave it alone. But I rest my case. If you want to work within the system, you have to follow the rules of the system. If you don't want to follow the rules, then get out. It's that simple. Everybody supported her when it looked like the First Lady was being biased against LSU, and also when it looked like they were judging her by a double standard. An Iowa player could make one gesture and she could make the same gesture and be criticized for it when the other girl wasn't. So I think we were correct in supporting her in that. But then to keep dragging it out and bringing information that should have stayed with the team, I believe that that is inappropriate. There's a proper way for you to behave, whether you win or whether you lose. You don't want to be a sore winner. I'm happy to report this update. I just read that Angel Reese has agreed to go to the White House because she says she's a team player. Even though she was hurt by what the First Lady did, she's going. And I'm very glad. I see somebody got to her. Maybe it was Michelle Obama, or maybe it was her coach. But somebody made her understand that if she's going to be on the team, she's got to go with the team. I'm glad that she made that decision. Okay, y'all, this might be one of those times that we disagree. But thank you for listening, and let me know what you think about the video. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.